Good evening. This is our second webinar in the Alumni Interactive Series. However, today is a very special day because with great pleasure, I introduce my student from my first batch after joining college in 2006. So it's rather a very emotional moment because I'll be seeing my direct student when I'm a Pratham batch first student. So that's more emotional. And I welcome Shumalo and everybody, Shumalo specifically, to be the resource person and all the participants for the program. Before going into the Shumalo's presentation, I'd just like to give a very brief introduction about a student of whom I am very, very proud of. Shumalo is very aware of how much proud I am of him. So we move on to our next slide, Anirban. Shumalo completed his graduation from Vivekananda College in 27 and post-graduation from Calcutta University in 29. Shumalo, after qualifying NET in 2009 itself, joined the Division of Parasitology and National Institute of Cholera and Enteric Disease under the supervision of Dr. Shondipon Ganguly. During his PhD tenure, he has published his work in 7 scientific national and international journals. As a member of the team of the Division of Parasitology NICET, he has mapped the soil-transmitted helminth prevalence and intensity in the states of UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Assam, Tripura, Sikkim, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Meghalaya and West Bengal. So that's quite a huge number of states that has been covered in this particular study that Shumalo has already mentioned. He has joined Victoria College Institution in 2017, and from 2017 he is in the capacity of Assistant Professor of Zoology, and he is the proud recipient of the Indian Science Congress Association Best Poster Award in the section of Medical Sciences in 2020. So with this, I asked Shumalo to start his presentation. So Shumalo, over to you. Our Anirban, stop presenting. Acha, before Shumalo presents, while Shumalo is preparing himself, I'd like to say everybody, keep yourself mutated. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat box. And there is another alumni of our college, Gargi, who will be taking up the questions at the end of the discussion. And please do not present anything while the Shumalo's presentation is going on, and all of you pin his presentation on your Google Meet platform. Shumalo, it's over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So, good evening, everybody. My students know this very well that in our class, that the class that I take, it's always a fun. It's more from studies. What we do is actually we do a lot of fun in our class. So the lockdown is going on, and most of us, we are just too much burdened with everything. And so when ma'am told me to do something that should be of interesting to you all, so I thought of something that should be interesting to all of you. So instead of what I do means, apart from my research and apart from my other teaching students and all those stuffs, I thought of talking on something which I think will be interesting to you all. And the topic for today is from student to faculty, a zoological journey. So we all know a musical journey or something like that, and they are always very interesting to us. But trust me, this zoological journey of mine is a magical one, and I love it, and I'm living in it. So the first thing that comes up is, why did I choose this topic? Okay, so before I go into this topic, I must tell you that my topic is more of, it contains rather cartoon characters because I love to do with them, because I'm not exactly talking about studies here. So the first question that comes up to your mind must be, why such a topic? Now, two things I could have done. One thing is I could have spoken about my research and all the other things that I do. So if I talk about my research, the target audience, which ma'am told me, was the second sem students and the fourth sem students mostly, and the MSc students. So if I talk about my research now, so that will be hell boring to you people, and especially considering today's weather, this nice monsoon, this gloomy weather, and having a lunch in the Sunday afternoon. So being Bengalis, we must be feeling the love of bed right now. So if I talk about my research, so I am quite sure that you people will be feeling sleepy. So the other thing that which I could have done is I could have talked about studies. Means I could have taken up a chapter and I could have talked on that. But you people are taught by teachers who taught me. So it's useless to teach you people. So I thought of taking up this topic and sharing with you the journey, my zoological journey, the thing, the same DNA. It's rather the central dogma, you can say, the central dogma that we share. We share the central dogma of this Vivekananda College, that same big lab and that same small lab, that rooms, that everything, we share everything. The students' library, the seminar library, we are proud of those things. So I thought of talking something about my days and how I chose this subject of zoology and how I moved on from a student to a faculty. So if you see, my life starts in such a stage. I mean, it started before, but this was the stage when which I vividly remember, and this was the stage like all small children. I used to feel that I should be a sportsman or something like that, and play cricket or do this and that. And studies was not there in my was not my cup of tea. I always wanted to be something, but not study. So this was my life. But as you know, a very common word in our zoology is metamorphosis. From this very child, I metamorphosed into this one, this guy, a guy who loves zoology. So apparently, a guy who likes animals. And so apparently, my love from sports that shifted to my love for animals. And what better can be a subject than studying zoology? Now, my love for zoology, if you can, if I say it in that way, or rather, if I put it in that way, my love for zoology, or rather, love for biological sciences, it started from my class 8 or 9. When I was in class 8 or 9, my love for this subject, it started. And it started in a very unique way. For that, let me show you one slide. So this is one slide. Now, if I ask you, I don't know whether the cursor will be moving right. So now, if I say that, what is this? If I ask you, if I'm moving the cursor over here and I ask you people, now can you tell me what is this thing? And the obvious answer that you will give me is, this is the nucleus. If I move it over here, you will say this is the mitochondria. Fantastic things. This is all we know. This is what all we do in our pointing things. Okay. Now, when we do these things, there was an ex-professor in our college with whom we used to rather have a very family relation sort of. And I used to call him J2, and that J2, I used to go to him for my biology lessons. And there he told me that he was teaching me biology, and he was doing like this. Sorry. He was doing like this on the nucleus and was asking me what was this. And I told him this is nucleus. And then he took me to the garden and he picked up a lemon from the tree. And then he said that, what is the thing? And he was pointing on the lemon's covering. And I said, this is a covering. And then he said, now if this is the covering, then how can you say that this is the nucleus of the cell? The thing is, in our biology books at those times, they didn't have this picture of the cell, which is a three-dimensional structure. This three-dimensional structure of the cell was the first idea that I got from him. And I don't know why, but that was the moment when I was mesmerized by this beautiful thing that, see, we have to imagine We have to know the things. And then that is the time when I started loving biology. And then I thought of making a career or making a life with biology will be wonderful. And that's why I started moving into this field. Now, when you are in your plus two, that's a very tough life. I know that most of you have experienced that. So the middle one says medical. That was something which my parents wanted to. Every parents wants that to wants that their son will be either a doctor or an engineer. Normally, parents doesn't want their child to do something in, sorry, either zoology or something like that. Now, so here I have some interesting stories. So I got admitted to some medical training schools, and there I was studying for my medical entrance examination, and I was horrible in physics. And I was horrible in physics, and so I knew from the very beginning that medical is not my cup of tea. So I came back to home one day, and then I told my parents that I will not be studying medical. And then this asked me, what will you study? Then I said, I will be studying something in biology. And then they asked me, what in biology? And I said, I don't know what in biology, but something definitely in biology, but not medical sciences. They were supportive enough. They said, okay, fine, go ahead. I passed my plus two, and then the big hunt started. The hunt for studying which subject, the hunt for choosing the subject which I will study. So I obviously zoology was there, and along with zoology, another subject was there, that was microbiology. So you have the Shoshula College over here, and there is a very fantastic story I would like to say, or rather funny story I would like to share with you people. So in this Shoshuna College, I remember that day, I took the microbiology form, I filled it up, I submitted it, and then I saw that my name was there in the list. I found out that my name was there in the list, and so one day, the day of the admission, I took a cycle from my home and I rode to this Shoshuna College, and there I was standing in the queue, and I didn't know how much money I have to pay or something like that. And then a person came with his father, and his father was saying, "This is a hell lot of money." And I was like, "Oh, a hell lot of money, right?" And then I went there and I asked, "How much does it cost?" And then he says, "It costs me 25,000 rupees a year." And I said, "Good Lord, you pay 25,000 rupees a year for a subject where you can pay 2,500 a year, and then you can also learn a subject that is biology too." And that's why I chose zoology, to be very true. And I did the right thing in my life, choosing zoology, and I'm very proud of it. So it's a good thing, that I did. Okay, so the next thing is I chose zoology, and then this is our college, Vivekananda College. Now, in our time, this didn't look so pretty as it is looking these days, but yeah, this is a good college. This is a nice college. I love it. Anyhow, so I got in the botany. In the first list, it was in the botany where I got, and I took admission there. And then in the second list, I got admitted in the zoology. The first day of my zoology class, I do remember vividly this day. I will never forget this day of my life. So this was the first day, the first class that we were sitting. I just forgot the room number. I just forgot it. Very sorry. I was sitting there. We were all sitting there, and Dr. Shottoranjan Noshkar, SN sir came to the class, and he wrote this beautiful thing in the board: Branchiostoma lanceolata. He started writing from one end of the board, and then he carried on and he finished at the other end of the board. And then he asked, "Tomra ki jano, tomra ki dekhecho ei jinishta konodin?" And we were all silent. We didn't know what it was. And then he asked our dear Kopilda to bring the sample, and we were all waiting eagerly to see a dinosaur in the lab. But unfortunately enough, the dinosaur didn't came up. What came up was this thing, Branchiostoma lanceolata. And that day we were astonished that such a small thing can have such a big name. That is, being small also, we can have a huge impact in the society. The college days were fantastic. My BSc days, these are some of my friends, my BSc friends, and all my BSc friends rather, and we used to have a lovely time in our college. We were the batch, I think, who got all the teachers, the old teachers like AK sir, TP sir, NR sir, SN sir, ARS ma'am, we got them. And we got new teachers like MB ma'am, TN sir, SNK ma'am, SRM ma'am, we got all of them. Means those old teachers of mine, they retired, and new teachers of mine, they just came in. And we had a lovely time in our college. My BSc days were perhaps the most beautiful days of my life, of course. And I think the fourth sem you people have been to excursion, and second sem you people are waiting to go for the excursion. Now, the fourth sem must be knowing that excursion is a wonderful thing. This BSc excursion, that is a wonderful thing of our life. And the second sem people, they will be eagerly waiting for that. I know my students are also eagerly waiting for that, for their excursion, and that's a lovely time. Now, apart from these things, we enjoyed everything. We enjoyed our lab, we enjoyed our library, both the seminar libraries and the students' library. And the student library, that was really a prized possession for us. Because one thing we were encouraged in our college days, unlike many other colleges, was that we were encouraged to read books. And trust me, you people should also be reading books more, because reading books helps you a lot. This help you will understand when you are appearing for any competitive exams. That gives you a huge boost. So you should be studying books. Study any book, any standard book that you like, that language of which is lucid, that you like. Your teachers are there to help you out with them. Read those books. They are of immense help to you people. So this college, like this student library, was a very prized possession of us. And then we remember that you people must be doing also. We used to clean our own laboratories. Both the labs, the small one and the bigger one, we used to clean both the labs. Now, we used to clean both the labs because there were some parks added to that. This is very funny what we used to do. Say we don't have a class after 3:30 or 4 p.m. any day, and then our teachers, like mostly we did this with our older teachers like AK sir or TP sir, NR sir. They were there in the staff room, and then we used to go to them and we used to say, "Sir, aaj laptop porishkar kore din." And we were very persistent to this thing. স্যার আজকে ল্যাবটাকে পরিষ্কার করে দিই, স্যার আজকে না ল্যাবটাকে পরিষ্কার করে ফেলবো, স্যার দেখুন ল্যাবটা খুব নোংরা হয়ে গেছে। And they were like, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ করে দে। And we all used to jump into the activity. This cleaning of the lab, especially the first year and the second year. Third year we didn't used to get this lot of time. We used to clean the lab, because when we were at the fag end of cleaning, our teacher used to call like this, Kopil, edike shono. And then we used to have this gorom shingaras and those vegetable chops and those mishtis that our teachers used to treat us with. And it is a sort of this, for this parts only, that we used to do this thing. Okay, but this is a really healthy practice. We used to love this thing. Without these things, the college life wouldn't be college life. A life which you will miss every moment when you step out of this college. It's a beautiful life. It's a carefree life. It's such a life where you have where what to say, the shackles of this school, they are gone. These boundaries of schools, they are gone, and then you are into a free world. And this is a lovely time, and you should be enjoying this time. Yes, of course, you should study. I shouldn't say that you should not study. You should also study, but at the same time, you should be enjoying this. This life will never come back. No matter what happens to your life, you be a professor, you be a banker, you be anything in life. you be a teacher, you be anything in life. But I can tell you, this life never comes back. And with such wonderful teachers that you have, MB ma'am, TN sir, SMK ma'am, SRM ma'am, all these wonderful teachers that you have, this life is very special for you. So enjoy that life. Just enjoy your life. Enjoy your BSc days, study, just make full use of it. Now, as I'm talking of these BSc days, there was one thing that always happens. Every good thing comes to an end, and that good thing comes to an end with the results. Now, why am I highlighting this? You should be knowing this thing, that why I am all of a sudden highlighting these results part of uh, my teachers must remember. In our time, we had the catastrophic results, means the performance in Calcutta University. There were very few people who got a first class in our time. And our college was also struck with that. There were 11 or 12 of us in part one who could manage a first class. And I was in a good position, not a very comfortable position, but yes, I was in a good position, and I was sure that I will be making good in my part two. Remember, in our time, we used to have only part one and part two, means 2 years, and then you give the part one examination, and then in the end of the third year, you give the part two examination. So I was confident that I will be doing great in part two. I myself feel that I did great in my part two, but there are certain things that are not in your hand, and that thing happens, And I still don't know where from I got such bad numbers in my practical examination, anyhow. And that practical examination marks, they shattered my dreams. My dreams, no, I did get a first class, but my dream of joining the science college, proper science college, that got shattered then, and that was a big hit. But this is life. This is life. You have to love it. You have to live it. You can be devastated at times. Life will devastate you. But then again, we have to walk. And there can be at times you will feel that life has not done good to you. But then at the end, you will feel that life has done good to you. Now, another interesting thing happened during this BSc. I had this dilemma, and I call it the great dilemma. In my time, when I was in BSc, there was this campusing. The TCS and what was the name of the other company? Accenture, right? The TCS and Accenture, they came in for campusing. And I got selected in TCS, and I got selected in Accenture also. So just think of it. I got selected in TCS, I got selected in Accenture, and my BSc results are devastating. I will not be getting chance in Baligan Science College. The best I can get is in Maulana Azad College. So what should I do? A job that is offering me in TCS at that time was offering me around 18,000 bucks a month, and a path, and rather walking a path, I don't know what it will end up to. I didn't know even that whether I will get net or not. So what should I do? Should I take up the job in the TCS, or should I go in for my MSc? My dear friends, always remember this thing. Opportunity will never open its door for you. It's you who will have to knock it. It's you who will have to break it open. And there is one very good thing I should like to say, that there are no short ways, and the way traveled longer is the way traveled most beautiful. If you have been to Kanha or Bandhavgarh in Jabalpur, from via Jabalpur, I mean to say, there are two trains. One train, that is the Shaktipunj, which takes about 27 hours to reach, and then there you have Mumbai Mail or something like that. That takes about 17 hours or so. So there is a difference of about 10 hours in the journey. But I always prefer traveling by Shaktipunj. Why, you know? The scenic beauty, the track through which this train passes is beautiful. Is beautiful. So you can enjoy your journey there also. So remember, my friends, what I have told you, that opportunities will never open its door. You have to break it open. And the life traveled long is the life traveled beautiful. So there are no easy way out. So I chose the way of walking down the MSc path. I gave up my jobs. I didn't join there. Yes, people were there who told me that, what are you doing? Are you mad? And I thought of being mad for at least 2 years of my life and then see what life has in store for me. So I didn't get through to Baligan Science College because at that time we didn't have this thing, this examination, entrance examination, where a part of students can compete and get into the science college. So I didn't get through that. Bidhannagar Government College was my refuge. It was my refuge. I needed to do something in life. I needed to prove myself that yes, I want to do research, I want to get net. And so I could have joined Maulana Azad College also, but I in Bidhannagar College, I got it in the first list and I joined Bidhannagar College. Until this day, I don't repent my decision of joining the Bidhannagar College. I had wonderful memories of my MSc. I had wonderful friends of my MSc. Uh, Three of us, we were real good friends. One is now in Hyderabad. I don't have much contact with him, but another one is there. I will introduce him to you people, and we share a awesome bond till this day. We share that awesome bond, and I don't repent my joining MSc in Bidhannagar College. We were just 15 people there, and it was a lovely college, lovely faculties over there, and those faculties uh, they let you explore. They let you explore. So I and uh, oh, let me be very truthful to you. Actually, this shouldn't be my college. This should be my college, City Center 1, Salt Lake. Actually, this was our college. The City Center 1 was our college. And I used to spend most of my times over here, or rather we used to spend most of our times over here. City Center was like a dream, at that time for us, especially living in Thakurpukur and Behala, and seeing Behala Bajar and Thakurpukur Bajar. And from there you go and see Salt Lake. It's like a place of dreams. And then you see City Center. It's like, good Lord, we are in heaven, must be. And so City Center was the place, and we used to go there and spend most of our times in City Center. And then when we felt like, we used to come back and join our classes, and then we used to get a bashing from our teachers over there. But MSc life was fun, and yes, we did study. We did study in our MSc. Apart from all these things, we did study because had that thing in mind that I have to do something. I have to qualify for my name. And yes, I studied hard. Sorry, I'm not boasting myself. I'm just telling you. I'm just sharing my experiences with you people. And these are my MSc friends. These are my MSc friend. I think you can identify me. Quite thin at that time, not this much heavy as I look nowadays. To your extreme right, I think, yes, extreme right. I am standing there. So this is my MSc, a very small batch of us, and we enjoyed our MSc days. Now, MSc comes with a big exam, NET. And I have very fond memories of this thing. To be very true, let me say this thing that in the first attempt, I was a failure. I was a failure in my first attempt, and I remember this thing. Me and Shubhadeep, me, Shubhadeep, Obhinav, we all appeared for this examination, and that was in 2018. Sorry, 2008. We joined our MSc in 2007. Yes, 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 right. 2007 we joined our MSc, right? Yes, 2007 MSc we joined, and 2008. That was in 2008 December, and Shubhadeep was extraordinary there. Shubhadeep cleared the first paper as well as the second paper, and he got selected in the CSIR category. I could manage only the first paper. Everyone was having high hopes on me, especially MB ma'am. More than me, she was having this high hope that I will be qualifying my second paper. At least I will get a ALS. But unfortunately, I didn't qualify. I didn't qualify for my second paper. Again, I was so much devastated. Why is this happening with me? Why didn't I get through in my second paper of net? And I was sitting down in my house and all sad and all those things. And this MSc teacher of mine, and I do still remember him dearly. I miss him. He is no longer with us. Dearly. Dear Sir, Dr. Deepak Ray, his name was. He rang me up. I used to have genetics as my special paper. So he rang me up. I was sitting at my home, and he rang me up and he said, "Ki hocche ki বাড়িতে বসে তুই আর কি মারছিস? এক্ষুনি কলেজে আয়." And I was like, "না স্যার আমি যাব না এখন." And he was all angry with me, and I had to go to college. And when I stepped in, I was late for my college, no doubt about it. Say around 2 or 3 p.m. maybe I reached college. He was sitting there, and he used to sit. He was the HOD. He was sitting in his HOD's room, and HOD's room was just in front of the stairs. And I was walking up the stairs, and he was looking at me, and I wasn't able to step on the last stair also. And from there he shouted, "ফেল করলে যদি এত ভয় পাস, এত ভেঙে পড়িস, তাহলে জীবনে কোনোদিন পিএইচডি করতে যাস না। পিএইচডি তোর জন্য নয়." So that thing rang in my mind, and it still rings in my mind, that yes, PhD is not for the faint-hearted. Research is not for the faint-hearted. And those of you who want to do PhD, who want to get net, confidence is the main thing, nothing else. Okay, so confidence is your main thing. So fine, I studied hard. I studied like anything. And then in my second attempt, I passed my NET examination. And tell you something, the moment you see that thing, that your roll number flashing over there, that's a surreal moment. That's a moment you want never to end in your life. Means you are maybe in your heaven at that time, that you have got something. You have got something that you can credit for all your life. So my dear friends, those of you who want to get net, who want to study for net, just do it. Do it, and do it from your BSc. Do it from your BSc. Don't wait for your MSc or maybe MSc to end and then study for net. Do it from your BSc. And another thing for my friends who are doing MSc from Vivekananda College, don't feel yourself to be children of lesser God or something like that. College doesn't matter, At this time, I can say that college doesn't matter. Rather, let me put it in this way: the names of the college doesn't matter. It's all your teachers who matters, and it's all your efforts that matters, and it's all your willpower that matters. That makes you, or that gives you a chance to crack net, and that don't let you crack net. That's it, nothing else. So exam tips, or some tips of my exam day. Yes, I do remember vividly my exam day. The bell rang. How much time did I take? 35 minutes. Okay, so okay, I need to hurry. Okay, so exam tips. Well, fine. I still remember my exam days. The net exam rather. The bell rang. The warning bell rang at around say 45 minutes prior to that, and I saw people running, rushing towards their hall. I was standing calm at that time. Why, because I could see a vendor selling luchi and aludom. And as you can see from my size, means whenever I see food, I can't control myself. So I thought, I don't know what will happen in my NATE exam. But at this morning, or at this Sunday morning, if I miss this luchi and aludom in my life, I must be missing something completely in my life. So I should be having this luchi and aludom first. And so I had my luchi and aludom, and then I went in. And then I took the first paper. And after I answered the first paper, I was sure that first paper I am going to qualify. Now comes in the second paper. The thing is, we have to have cool and confidence. When you are appearing for your net, you have to have cool, and that's it. I remember reading out the whole paper from question number 1 to question number 43. I read all the questions there, and I needed to answer only 16 of them. And then after that, I just ticked the 16 questions, all the best questions that I could answer. And then when I completed answering my paper, I came out and I counted that I have already answered 13 and half of them. And so I thought that yes, this time I can have a chance of qualifying the net. And eventually I did qualify the net. So the thing is, you need to keep your cool, you need to study, you need to have your confidence that yes, I can do, and yes, you can do, nothing else. Then comes my lab hunt. My lab hunt is that I didn't have any recommendations. And so many research institutes, I don't want to name them, many research institute, they didn't what to say,